Hi, I'm Richard Wiseman, Professor of the Public Understanding of Psychology at the University of Hertfordshire. And today I'm going to be talking about the making of a social distancing computer game called Can You Save the World? I'll be talking about where the idea came from, how we made it happen, and how it reached millions of people. I hope you enjoy it. First, a little bit of background. Lots of my work involves developing fun and innovative ways of getting the public interested in science. However, engaging with the public is increasingly problematic because nowadays people are constantly bombarded with messages, emails, and online content. As a result, it's important to be able to create projects that capture people's attention. And for me, that often involves creating projects that are fun to take part in and stand out from the crowd. For instance, I've staged large-scale psychology studies with the BBC, and several years ago I carried out an international study called Laugh Lab. Billed as the scientific search for the world's funniest joke, it examined the science of humour in everyday life. I also run a psychology-based YouTube channel and make videos about illusion and perception like this one. One of my latest projects involves working with illustrator Jordan Culver and writer Rick Worth to produce Hocus Pocus, a comic that aims to boost critical thinking about pseudoscience and the paranormal. A few months ago, I received an email from Martin Jacob.
Hi.
At the time, I didn't know Martin, but he explained he was a French computer games designer and asked me whether I'd be willing to provide the voice for one of the characters in his new game. I was happy to help, and I thought the game was excellent. I suggested that at some point we work on a joint project, and Martin was open to the idea. A few months later, COVID-19 hits and the whole world changes. Because of the virus, people were asked to socially distance, to stay around about 2 meters away from one another. And when I was out and about walking along the street trying to avoid people, it felt a little bit as if I was in a computer game. And that's when I remembered the email from Martin.
Hi.
And I wondered if the two of us could work together and create a computer game that encouraged people to socially distance. I contacted Martin. I said, "Are you on for creating a fun, accessible game as quickly as possible?" And luckily, he said,
Yes.
We weren't the first people to have the idea of creating a computer game that encouraged good behaviour. In fact, there's lots of games out there like that. For instance, in the game Chibi Robo, players earn points by cleaning up a house and helping people with their everyday chores. In Super Mario Sunshine, players look after the environment by cleaning up the sludge and dirt on an island. And The Sims rewards players for getting their characters to adopt healthy behaviours. And there's lots of research to suggest that these sorts of games, which psychologists refer to as prosocial games, influence people's thinking and behaviour. These studies have typically involved two groups of people, with one group playing a prosocial game and the other group playing a neutral game like Tetris. Then, after the experiment has apparently finished, participants just happen to encounter a scenario in which they have the opportunity to help somebody. For example, somebody might walk past them and accidentally drop some books, or they might be asked to volunteer for another study, or they might come across somebody in need of a helping hand. The results show that those playing the prosocial games are far more likely to help out. And exactly the same finding has been found outside of the lab. Those playing prosocial games are more likely to help volunteer and also contribute to charity. And so Martin and I started to work together to produce a computer game that encouraged people to socially distance as they walked along the street.
I started by using a software called Unity, in which I created the player character, the infinite street you are going through, and a few obstacles to collide with.
Meanwhile, I contacted a friend of mine, composer Cameron Watt, and asked him if he'd supply a soundtrack that felt light but pacey. Nice.
Next, I asked two of my colleagues, artists Julia Martinez-Bayardi and Charline Edronville, to create some graphics. Their characters and vivid scenery were wonderful and made the game feel both realistic and fun.
So how does the game work? Well, there's an exclusion zone around each character, and you lose health points if you go into one of these zones. To add to the excitement, we also included cyclists, groups of people, and even the occasional sneeze.
We also want to encourage cyclists to behave responsibly, and so we put a zone around them and we had them ring their bells to alert pedestrians.
In line with the pro-social nature of the game, we also encourage people to collect as many face masks as possible and then drop them off at a medical collection point.
And players can also collect grocery items that give them extra lives, or even a rare roll of toilet paper that allows them to suddenly zoom through the game.
One of our test players, Helen Keane, had the great idea of players' scores reflecting how many lives they were saving by staying away from other people. And because viruses can spread exponentially, players' scores rapidly increase as the game goes on. Then, at the end, a graphic explains exponential growth and shows how avoiding even a small number of people leads to a big difference in infections.
Finally, we decided to present the game as the ultimate challenge, asking players to see if they could obtain the top score of 7 billion lives and save the world.
Developing a game like this normally takes a few months, but we did it in just 3 weeks. We launched in early May, and instantly the media started to cover the story.
A psychology professor from the University of Hertfordshire has helped to develop a video game based on this coronavirus.
Can You Save the World has been developed by a psychology professor from the University of Hertfordshire.
And he joins us now for more on the endeavor. Richard Wiseman, professor of psychology at the University of Hertfordshire, joins us right now.
The BBC and lots of other news outlets reported the story online. Then people around the world started to play the game and were kind enough to send us their photos, share their scores, both high and low, and even review it.
What does the toilet paper do? Oh my god, that is amazing. You collect the toilet paper and you go on mad rampages. That is fantastic. I'll give that eggs. What do the eggs do? I'm so intrigued by this tiny little game. Apples, okay. This is great. This is like real life.
The game went viral, and within just a few days we had over 30,000 plays. Everyone was very happy. The feedback was amazing. Lots of people told us it was a really fun way of letting their children know about social distancing, and a survey revealed around about a third of players said that the game had encouraged them to socially distance in the real world. The collaboration came about because of a chance email from Martin. As such, it demonstrates the importance of connecting with others. Second, it illustrates the power of agility. None of us had thought about working on a social distancing game a few months ago. However, an unexpected situation arose and we were able to turn something around really quickly. Third, everyone was really motivated to work on the project because it was a fun way of promoting social distancing and so clearly had a strong sense of purpose. So there we have it, the surprising story of how a simple idea led to a fun game that reached millions of people and encouraged them to socially distance. Our thanks to everybody who helped create the game, who played it and shared it with others.
Thank you.
It's free, it's online, so please go and play it. Thanks for watching.